I'm going to show you how you can take your best landscape photos of fall colors. Hi, my name's Tim Shields. I'm a landscape photographer, and my goal is to help you take your landscape photography from good to great. I'm going to critique the top entries from this photo challenge so that you can learn what makes a winning photo. Let's go. All right, we had so many fantastic entries for this week's photo challenge, which was for fall colors. Just take a look at the grid here of how many photos were submitted. It was hundreds of fantastic photos. I had a very difficult time being able to come up with really a top 10, but I have done that. It's taken hours to really whittle down the list. Let's roll. I want to start with two that are just honorable mentions, and this one from Vicky Nepper Adrian, beautiful fall color leaves, and this one from Nelson Rudiak. What I like about both of these is that they are isolating a small aspect of the fall colors. Just it's looking for those little things, the simple things in your compositions, and they can make for very beautiful photos, especially I think when you combine them and print them, but combine them with two other photos that are similar so that they can be a series of 3 photos printed and hung on your wall. And these are the type of images that would look great for that. The next one is from Alan Stutt, and what I like about this photo is, of course, you're going to guess what I'm going to say here. It's the leading lines. The leading line that leads from the foreground through the middle ground and into the background. And I would also say that the main element of the photo is the bridge in the middle. This is where your eye goes, and it's where Alan wanted our eyes to go, and that's what makes this a good photo. Also, we've got framing going on. This tree on the right and the tree on the left frames in the main element of the photo. Great job on this one, Alan. And from Åsa Solvi from Norway comes this one. Now, this photo has some great fall colors. I think there is one thing that could have been done to have made it a more stunning photo, and that would have been if this photo was taken during the daytime or during blue hour. I think that because it's a nighttime photo and we can see stars up here in the sky, it's introduced too many black tones into the photo overall. But what I do like about it is that it's a very interesting composition. We've got this bridge in the middle, that's the main subject. We have a long shutter speed opening. So we see the blur, the movement of, I guess those are leaves floating in the water being moved down by the current. We've got framing with the right bank and the left bank. It's a very nice photo. So great work on that one, Åsa. This one is from Stefan Gunnarsson, and this is a very beautiful photo. We've got framing, the right-hand side, the left-hand side that is framing in this stream of water, which creates a leading line. Our eye is pulled from the foreground right up to the background, and I like the photo. I will say, and this is kind of a good teaching point here about long exposure photography. In my view, there is a time and a place when your exposure speed can be too long. And what a very long exposure does to moving water is that it completely removes all the texture out of the water. So it becomes this silky smooth thing that has no shape or texture to it. And there are definitely times when we want that type of a look. But when it comes to a stream of moving water, I think that having some texture in it is the goal, so that you see that this is moving water. It's moving from this side to that side. And I think that this photo would look a little bit better if the shutter speed wasn't quite as long as it is. Sometimes only 1 or 2 seconds on these moving water streams is all that it takes. Sometimes even half a second just gives it enough of a blur to show you that there's motion, but still the texture of the water is there. But this is a beautiful photo. I like the composition that you came up with, Stefan. Well done. This photo from Petric Dan Lulian. And what I like about this is that he's taken a normal tree and he's made a leading line out of it. So this down here is the foreground, and the trunk of the tree has become the leading line that goes right up into the middle ground and up into the background. Of course, we've got this light source behind the tree, which I suspect was enhanced using a radial filter in Photoshop, and it draws the eye to the middle of the photo. So we know what we're supposed to look at. Remember that our eye is always drawn to the brightest points in the photo. So my eye is drawn to the center right here, and it's this leading line. I think this is a very creative photo. I think it's a beautiful photo. So well done, Petric. This one from Ann Johnson, and this is in Vermont. This is a classic fall photo in my view. I like it. We've got that leading line that goes down the middle, which is the road. I also like the fact that the road curves. I find that curvy lines always look good in photos, oftentimes more than straight lines, but they both have their time and their place. Beautiful colors here. Framing on the right side and the left side. Excellent job. Well done, Anne. This one is from David Hebert, and I have some things I want to say about this photo. I think that this photo had the potential of being a 10 out of 10. I think that David's composition for this photo is very good. The location is perfect. The colors are perfect. But I often think to myself when I'm analyzing a photo, what is the main subject here? What do you want viewers to look like? And I am going to make the argument that this area up here is the main subject. This is where our leading line is going through. It's the river that's going all the way down. It's got the framing, right side, left side, framed in by the trees. Just a fantastic area here of the photo. Then we have our foreground, and you'll notice that the foreground is taking even more than half of the image. And it's a busy foreground. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of texture to it, a lot of contrast. There's the brights and there's the darks. And I would venture to say that I would have liked to have seen much less foreground and much more of this right here. You know, sometimes I think of the analogy of a cream-filled donut, and you bite into the cream-filled donut, and right in the middle, that's the yummy goodness. And I ask myself sometimes with photography, where's the yummy goodness? This right here is the yummy goodness out of this composition. This is the main subject for me. This is what I would want my viewers to look at. So something that has less foreground and more of this background would have been good. Having said that, David, you made an excellent photo here. Beautiful colors. Your timing is perfect. I like the amount of movement you have in the water. Your shutter speed, in my view, is perfect. You've still got that texture in the water, which is what we want to see. So well done on this. Annette Undheim. This one is from Sur del Norway, and sorry that I'm not saying Sur del properly. And I really like this because we do have that leading line. We have bright reflection of the sky in the water. We've got framing, the left side, the right side. We've got great fall colors. Now, I don't know what you took this with. It could have been your phone. It could have been a camera. So I don't want to say too much about this next part, but I do find that it is too dark on the land. All of this and all of this could have been brightened up, and I think it would have looked better. But having said that, well done. It is a beautiful photo. I like the sky. I like what you've done with the processing overall, and I certainly like the composition. And of course, composition is the most important aspect of taking a beautiful landscape photo. So excellent job, Annette. From Mark Altmaier, beautiful fall colors. You can't beat these colors. Look at these: bright green, bright red, bright yellowy orange, beautiful reflections. You've got a main subject, which is the bridge in the middle. So good job on this one. I'm not overly crazy about this aspect of the foreground. It doesn't add to the photo, but it's difficult to be able to find a better foreground probably where you were. It would have been interesting to know if you could have leaned out into the river a little bit more to minimize this area of the photo, but maybe that wasn't possible. But great job on this one, Mark. And from Raw Do, this is a really cool place. I'm very impressed with him finding this location. This looks like it's in Austria. but I don't think it is. Where did he say this was? I'm not seeing it. I think it's in the USA, but I could be wrong. What I like about the photo is that we have this tall mountain in the middle. We've got the balance and symmetry happening here. See, the left side and the right side have an equal amount of photographic weight to them, or color weight. And we've got a beautiful reflection off the water. The sun is just hitting the top of the mountain. Ra wrote that this was in the morning. So what I would say about this photo is that it's very dark. Now, this could have been the look that Ra was going for. It is popular on Instagram right now to have fairly dark photos. However, this is a landscape photography contest, and we're looking for fall colors. What I think would have been interesting to have seen would have been what happened an hour after sunrise, when the sun was hitting all of these trees right here and then creating a massive reflection of color and light off the water. I would have loved to have seen that photo when this was bathed in morning sunlight, hitting those fall colors, because they would just explode in color and light. But excellent job on this one, Ra. I really think this is a great spot. Please let us know where this was, because I want to go there. Second from the last is Roger Kelly. This photo he's calling the Eye, and this is in Central Park in New York City. I like his composition on it. I like the fact that we have the framing right in the middle, and really this framed middle in between the reflection and the real bridge is the main subject of the image. Perfect reflections, perfect colors along the top. I like the curved line. It's not completely straight. Absolutely gorgeous photo. And this was a contender for the winner, for being the winning photo. But ultimately, I had to choose another winner because it had emotion that spoke to me. So now we come to the winning photo for the Fall Colors Photo Challenge. And here it is. This was taken by Ann Johnson, and this is Corkscrew Falls in Ohio. And I find that I wish the photo was bigger so that it would fill our screens, but this photo has emotion to it. It's a special photo. She took it with a long shutter speed, so we've got movement of the water, things that are drifting downstream. The waterfall is isolated. This is the main subject of the photo. And we've got these light curved lines with dark curved lines, and it's just such a unique place. Now, I analyzed this photo. I really looked at it long and hard, and I thought about what is it that we want the viewer to look at. And this waterfall right here is the main subject, along with this part of the canyon. And one thing that I can say about the photo is that, remember the principle that the eye of the viewer is attracted to the brightest parts of the photo. So this area down here on the left-hand side is very bright, and it pulls my eye to the left. And so one suggestion that I would have about this photo is to darken the outside edges and brighten the middle so that the main subject of the photo, which is the waterfalls, would pop. And so I took the liberty of importing the image into Photoshop. Now here it is with nothing done to it, but I put a radial filter on it that brightened the middle and yet darkened the outside edges. And I also just did a really brief tone curve on it. I just brightened the brights a bit and darkened the darks a bit. So here is the after. And you can see that the waterfall pops more and your eye is more drawn to the waterfall. So here's the before. It looks somewhat flat. And here's the after. There's more contrast to it. The brights are brighter. The darks are a little darker. That left edge is a little bit darker. So before, after, before, after. Whatever the case, and you took a beautiful photo, absolutely beautiful photo. It has emotion in it, and it tells a story, and it is definitely deserving of being the winning photo of this photo challenge. So, Anne, you win my signature landscape profiles collection. This is a plugin to Lightroom, and it also works in Photoshop. And it is available on my website, which is timsphotos.com. And I will contact you and provide you with this. So now is the announcement for the next photo challenge. So first, let me say that if you want to enter the next photo challenge, you just need to join the Tim's Photos Academy Facebook group and then submit your entries there. The next photo challenge is going to be the sum total of everything that we've done so far. So we've previously had photo challenges that were all in relation to the principles of composition. So we've done foregrounds, leading lines, reflections, framing, balance and symmetry, rule of thirds. We've done them all. So let's combine everything together and make this next photo challenge more of an open challenge. And it is going to be for any landscape photo. And by landscape, I mean any outdoor photo. It could be a landscape, it could be a waterscape, it could be a cityscape, a city skyline. But as long as it's an outdoor type of photo. But what I'm going to be looking for are the principles of leading lines, rule of thirds, framing, reflections, foregrounds. We're going to be really looking for a showcase of images where in your compositions you have thought about all of those rules of composition creation. So you know what all the rules of compositions are. So I challenge you now to submit your best landscape photos. There's no limit to how many that you can submit. The contest closes on October 31st, 2018, and the winner will win a set of my signature profiles for landscapes for Lightroom and Photoshop. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, please take the time to hit the red button and subscribe to my channel and hit the little red bell, or sorry, the little bell beside it, so that you'll be notified whenever I have uploaded a new video. As well, I'd appreciate it if you would leave a comment on this video. What did you think of the photos? What did you think of my critique? Am I right? Am I wrong? Photography is so subjective. It's not a yes or no. It's not a black or white. It's opinion, and it's all about judging art. And we all have our own way of assessing artwork. And because I have a right way, it doesn't necessarily mean it's your right way. So leave a comment below. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.